Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to call upon yang berusaha Profesor Dr. Muhammad Shukri Saleh, founder of Center for Islamic Development Management Studies ISDEV, Universiti Sains Malaysia, to give his closing speech.
حضرة المشاركين والمشاركات، بكل احترام ندعو الفاضل الأستاذ الدكتور محمد شكري صالح مؤسس مركز التنمية الإسلامية والدراسات الاجتماعية لإلقاء الكلمة الختامية لهذا المؤتمر العالمي إدماك 2022 السادس عشر، فليتفضل مشكورا.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Thank you, Miss Master of Ceremony Izzati, and also Brother Awal, Mr. Awal. My respected brother, keynote speaker, Tuan Haji Muhammad Nazri Cik of Bank Islam Malaysia, Tan Sri Datuk Sri Abdul Aziz Abdul Rahman of PPZ, and also Professor Dr. Odeh Al-Jayusi of Arabian Gulf University, Staff Director, Associate Professor Dr. Shahid Akram Hassan, and Deputy Director, Dr. Azri Ibrahim. The Chairman of the IDMEC Organizing Committee, Dr. Shariza Muhammad Sanif, and her organizing team, staff lecturers, staff and students, and all presenters and participants of IDMEC 2022. Before we close the session, when we close our conference today, let me recall of our a little bit of history of the organizations of our IDMEC nearly 20 years ago. Yeah, when we set to organize IDMEC, from the outset we agreed to put the numbers, meaning that the first ISDEV, IDMEC, and then the second, the third. And Alhamdulillah, I'm so glad and thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today we have managed to organize IDMEC for the 16th time within, I think, 18 years or 20 years or so, because we could not organize during the MCO. But then, if not, we always organize every year, alhamdulillah, consistently and professionally, alhamdulillah. So it is clearly consistent and sustainable, and hopefully that in the future we continue to organize IDMEC 2020 every year, inshallah. And with the help of our brother here, Ustaz Nazri, who without doubts every year sponsor us, giving a little bit of, not a little bit, quite a lot of sponsorship, alhamdulillah. Hopefully that we can, Allah will allow us to organize our conference IDMEC 20 in the future, our IDMEC 20, inshallah. So for this time, we definitely have to congratulate our organizing committee, led by Dr. Shariza, for being able to gather interesting papers, this time from various sectors, institutions, also countries. And definitely congratulations also to our keynote address. Thank you very much, the presenters, for being able to write interesting papers. But one thing that probably we can remind together, IDMEC is actually a conference that provides an opportunity to view things from Islamic perspective. So within that view, within that set, definitely we have to as far as possible to be aware of three things, yeah, and that we have to be have to be taken into account seriously and systemically. The first is definitely the paradigms. We have to make sure that our diagnosis of our paper, the prescriptions of our paper, of our research problems are undertaken within the paradigm of Islam. And it must be based on Islamic philosophical underpinnings, meaning that within the scopes of Islamic worldview and Islamic epistemology. That's just very important, because if we write an Islamic paper, but from within the non-Islamic paradigms, we cannot achieve our aims, we cannot achieve our objective. That's the first one. The second one is the concept. Yeah, we have to really take aware of the concept that we're using. It has to be an Islamic concept. And then any concepts that we are using in our discourse, in our papers, it has to be an Islamic concept. If it's taken from other non-Islamic ideas, for instance, from SDGs, for instance, but definitely we had to redefine the concepts that are embedded into the SDGs, because definitely we know that, for instance, the concept of poverty of the SDGs, it can be seen as in line with Maqasid Sharia, but at the same time, if we put the philosophical underpinnings of Islam into that, then we may come up with a different kind of concept of poverty. So is the justice, hunger, and all that. So hopefully that we can remember that we have to redefine the concepts and use the concept according to Islam, inshallah. That's the second one. The third one is definitely the research methodology. I'm sure that many of you who write the paper has done quite a deep research before you write them, and make sure that the research methodology that we are using is also an Islamic research methodology. This is quite challenging, actually. I admit that, because as yet we don't have any complete Islamic research methodology manual as yet. So hopefully that in the near future, ISDEV, who is able now to release its Islamic research methodology manual, inshallah. They are working on it now, and out of its efforts in establishing a complete Islamic research methodology. So if I may remind again, there are three things that we need to take into account when we write a paper for IDMEC, not only for IDMEC, but for any Islamic conference anywhere in this world, inshallah. Yeah, there is, number one, make sure that you are discussing it within the paradigms of Islam. Number two, the concepts are also based on Islamic concepts rather than on the Western ethnocentric concepts. And the research methodology also must be Islamic research methodology. Lastly, once again, congratulations, staff, congratulations, the organizing committee and paper presenters. Thank you very much. Our keynote address, who have shared with us quite insightful and informative ideas, information, all that. And now, by the name of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, let's we close together our 16th IDMEC 2022 with Tasbih Kifarah and Strawal As.